everyone, welcome to Little Diamond Yoga Stories with me, Megan. And Little Diamond Yoga Stories is all about learning a new story and doing some yoga poses as we go along. So copy the moves that I do and try to have some fun. Okay, let's start off as we always do by crossing our legs and sitting on our bottoms and bringing our hands to our heart. And after 3 we're going to say our yoga hello, namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Well done. Now today's story is all about a mole. So let's go into a mole pose. Coming onto your knees with your bottom down. We're going to take our head down to the floor and stretch our arms out in front of us because moles love digging. So our arms need to be stretched out, ready to dig. The mole in our story is called Moira. Fantastic. Moira lives. Let's go into a house pose. Standing with our feet apart, bringing our hands to our heart and take them above our head. Well done. Moira lives with her brothers and sisters and her mom and dad in a mole hill. Let's go into a hill pose. Bringing those feet together and our hands by our sides. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Standing strong in a mole hill pose. Fantastic. Moira's family have always thought it was very important to be kind. And Moira and her brothers and sisters have always been taught the importance of kindness by their mom and dad. Moira's family show their kindness in so many ways. They listen to other people when they are talking. Rub your ears from the bottoms to the top. They listen to hear about any worries they may have and rub them back down again. They also like to give other people a smile, rubbing your jaw as you smile. If Moira and her family see somebody who's feeling sad or lonely or scared, they like to give them a big hug. Take your arms out wide and then wrap yourselves up in a great big hug. Well done. They also enjoy telling people stories to cheer them up. Let's go into a story pose. Sitting on your bottoms and bringing your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching and hold on to your toes. Fantastic. Then sit yourself up and turn the pages in your story. Moira and her family try to make sure these stories are fun to make the other person giggle. Moira and her family make sure that nobody ever feels left out. Moira also shows lots of kindness at her school. Let's go into a school pose. Standing again with our feet apart, bringing our hands to our heart and head above our head. Well done. When new children start at Moira's school, she loves showing them kindness. She will show them around, going onto your knees. We're going to take one hand onto the opposite leg and then twist to look over our shoulder as she shows them around this part of the classroom and school. And then coming back to the front, and we're going to swap sides, so taking our other hand on the opposite leg and looking over our other shoulder as she shows them around this part of the school and classroom. She also enjoys showing them how to play at school. Coming up onto your knees and taking your knees slightly apart. Hook your hands behind your back. Now we know that moles are very good at digging. So Moira likes to show her new friends how to dig in the sandpit. After 3 we're going to bend forward, taking our arms over to dig. 1, 2, 3, dig. Fantastic, and again. 1, 2, 3, dig. Well done, one more time. 1, 2, 3, dig. Fantastic. Moira also shows kindness by painting with her new friends. Coming onto your bottoms, your legs out straight in front of you. And pick up your paintbrush. And let's paint a beautiful picture of Moira first. Loving that. Let's pop that paintbrush down and pick up our other one. And paint a picture of Moira's new friend this time. Well done. She also makes sure that at lunchtime, hang onto your bottoms and cross your legs. She makes sure that at lunchtime she always sits next to those children so that they don't feel left out. What a kind mole. Now at her house, Moira has something very exciting. She has something called a kindness jar, and all of her brothers and sisters have one too. Taking your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching again, and then bending forward, this kindness jar sits on the shelf at Moira's home, and it's always closed. But whenever Moira does something kind, she can open the lid, sitting up. She takes a marble and she drops it into her kindness jar, and then bending forward, she closes it again. And then, every time Moira fills up her jar, she gets a brand new toy. One morning, Moira, let's go back into our mole pose. Putting onto our knees, our bottoms down. Taking our head down to the floor and stretching our arms forward. One morning, Moira wakes up to a funny sound. Sitting up on your knees and rubbing your ears from the bottom to the top and back down again. All of a sudden, Moira's daddy runs into her bedroom, standing up and run. Moira's daddy tells them they've got to pack up their things and go. The ground is being dug up. This has happened before. Moira knows exactly what to do. Keeping your feet slightly apart, we're going to fall forward to bend down. She collects all of her things, lifting all your things together and rolling yourself back up nice and slowly. She collects all of her things and then reaching your arms up high, and she pops them into her backpack, bending back very slightly. Well done. Then Moira and her family, let's go back into that mole pose. Onto our knees, bottoms down, head to the floor and stretching forward. Moira and her family start digging their way away to find a new home. They dig, tapping the floor one hand at a time. As they dig and they dig for days and days and days. Moira's family coming onto your bottoms, your legs crossed. Moira's family only stop for food and drink. Can you take one hand and rub your tummy and then use the other hand to pat your head? Well done. Now let's try swapping our hands over. Giving that hand to rub our tummy and that hand to pat our head. They only stop to have food and drink and also to sleep. Taking our hands to our heart and then taking them next to our chin. Ready to sleep. Eventually they find a new place to build a home. Let's go back into that home pose. Standing with our legs apart, taking our hands to our heart a little above our head into our home pose. They find somewhere to build their home and create their mole hill, bringing your feet together, hands to your side, roll your shoulders up and back into our mole hill pose. Well done. A new home means a new school for Moira. Let's do a silent cheer to the sky. Well done. Moira is so excited because a new school means new friends, and new friends means more people to show kindness to. The next day, Moira walked to her new school. Let's take some big steps. Let's take 4 big steps to her new school. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. On the way, Moira spotted something. Let's get out our super spectacles. Moira spotted some mice. Let's go into a mouse pose. Come onto your knees, your bottom down. Taking your head to the floor and tuck your arms in at your sides. into our mouse pose. Well done. Moira noticed that these mice were kicking the molehills that her and her family had made along the way. Let's do some kicking. Standing up with your feet together. Take one foot up behind you and hold on to it, trying not to wobble. After 3, we're going to let go of our foot and kick it forward. 1, 2, 3, kick. Well done. Let's do the same with the other foot. Lifting it behind us, try not to wobble. 1, 2, 3, kick. Well done. As the mice are kicking the molehills, they're saying, "Oh, look at this silly mess. What silly animal has made messy hills like this?" Moira can hear what they're saying. Rub your ear from the bottom to the top and all the way back down again. Moira doesn't like what she can hear, what they're saying, but she decides to shake it off. Give yourselves a shake. And she decides to carry on to school. At school, let's go into a school pose. Taking our feet apart, our hands to our heart, a little above our head. At school, Moira saw some squirrels. Let's go into a squirrel pose. Coming onto our knees and sitting up. You can keep your toes tucked under. Well done. Then we're going to take our hands onto the bottom of our back, so our fingers are facing down towards our bottoms. And then look up to the sky. Well done. Strong squirrels with a big bushy tail behind us. These squirrels are playing catch with some nuts, standing with your legs wide. And then point your toes into one direction. Well done. So both your toes, both your feet are facing the same way. And lifting up your arms, one behind you, one in front of you. We're going to take the arm behind us, hold on to our nut, and then we're going to swoop our arm over and throw it to our friend. And then pull your arms into your tummy as your friend catches the nut. Well done. Let's try that the other way. Bring your toe to the front and then twist them to face the other way this time. Arms up, one behind you and one in front. Fantastic. Taking that nut, we're going to bring it over to throw and then pulling our arms into our tummies to catch. Well done. Moira walks up to the squirrels and says, "Excuse me, could I play with you? That looks like fun." The squirrels come onto your bottoms and cross your legs. Hold on to your tummies. We're going to roll our bodies around and around. The squirrels look at Moira and laugh and say, "No, you're not a squirrel. You can't play with us." Moira listens to what they say, rubbing your ears from the bottom to the top and back down again. She doesn't like what they're saying, but she decides to shake it off, giving yourself a big shake, and she decides to carry on. Inside the classroom, Moira finds a story on the floor. Bringing your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching, holding onto your toes, then sitting up and turn the page in the story as Moira starts looking at the story on her own. All of a sudden, she notices a rabbit. Let's go into a rabbit pose. Coming onto your knees with your bottom down, taking your head down to the floor, and then hook your hands behind you and lift up your rabbit ears. Moira looks at the rabbit and says, "Excuse me, would you like to share this book with me?" The rabbit, on your knees, cup your hands around your mouth. Take a big breath in through your nose. And we're going to blow up a big angry balloon. And the rabbit says, "No! I want that book to myself. I don't want to share with you." Moira listens to what he has to say, rubbing your ears from the bottom to the top. And back down again. She doesn't like what he has to say, but she decides to shake it off. She gives him the book and she walks away. All of a sudden, Moira spots all of the animals running, standing up to run on the spot. And they're pointing at the sky. Moira looks up, take out your super spectacles and look up. Moira can see there is an owl on its way. Coming onto your knees. Take your hands together and then put them between your thighs. And we're going to go twit, twoo, twit, twoo, twit, twoo. Oh no, an owl coming means it might try and eat some of them. Moira has an idea rubbing your head as she thinks about her plan. She starts to dig a hole, standing up with your legs wide. Hook your hands behind your back. After 3, we're going to bend forward and dig. 1, 2, 3, dig. And again, 1, 2, 3, dig. One more time. 1, 2, 3, dig. Well done. Then, rubbing your jaw, Moira calls all the other animals to get them to come and jump inside her hole. When they're all inside, Moira jumps in too. After 3, we're going to jump and crouch down. 1, 2, 3, jump. Well done. Then Moira is inside. She starts digging down even further. Back into our mole pose. Onto our knees, our bottoms down. Taking our heads to the floor and stretching our arms forward. Tapping that floor as Moira digs further and further and further down. Well done. Then all the animals coming onto your bottom. Hug your knees. Hide inside the hole and wait. The owl can't get them here. He gives up trying, and the owl flies away. And back onto your knees. Taking your hands together and in between your thighs, let's do our owl flying away. Twit, twoo, twit, twoo, twit, twoo. Fantastic. Well done. Finally, all the animals climbed out. Come to crouching down on your toes. And then we're going to climb ourselves out, slowly rising to standing. Well done. Then climb out. Then taking your feet slightly apart, take your arms out nice and wide. All the animals give Moira a great big hug. They are so sorry they did not show her kindness earlier. Moira was so kind to them and she saved them from that nasty owl. For the rest of the day, all the animals play together and Moira makes lots and lots of grand new friends. Moira walks home. Let's take some big steps. Let's take 6 big steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done. And let's go into our home pose. Bang with our feet apart. Take our hands to our heart above our head. As Moira's walking home, she has a great big smile on her face, rubbing your jaw. She is so happy that even though her new friends did not show kindness at first, she's glad she showed them kindness. So, in the end, they learned the importance of kindness too. When she gets home, Moira lies back in her bed, going to lay on your backs, with your legs out straight, your arms by your sides. As Moira lays in bed, thinking about her day. Moira is so glad she has shown kindness today, even when it wasn't shown to her. Moira knows the importance of being kind. And she now hopes her friends know the same importance too. Everyone deserves kindness. Everyone is important and valuable, and everyone can be kind. The world would be a much better place if everybody was kind. Think about how you can show kindness and who you will show kindness to. Now give your fingers a wiggle and your toes a wiggle. Lift up your knees and give them a hug. Roll onto your sides and push yourselves up onto your bottoms with your legs crossed, bringing your hands to your heart. And after 3, we'll say our yoga goodbye. Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you for joining Little Diamond Yoga Stories today. See you again soon. Bye.